welcome back to the Decatur Dish. Now, wait a minute. You're not Dan. Where's Dan Wisenhunt?
That's a good question. I am filling in for him today, so he just is kind of taking some time for himself. We've been super busy at Decatorish, but we've got all things going, so he's kind of busy with that, and so I had the pleasure of joining you today, Maria.
Dan brought in the very best, Zoe Seiler, assistant editor at Decatorish. Thank you so much for being with us here for our weekly episode where we dish out the latest news out of DeKalb County and all the chaos that's been happening in one of Metro Atlanta's fastest growing communities. And Zoe, you've brought some topics that are kind of a conversation starter, but let's get into the one that's really dominated headlines, and that is the conversation surrounding water bills in DeKalb County. Now, most recently, DeKalb CEO Lorraine Cochran-Johnson outlined steps the county is taking to collect money it says it is owed. What kind of action are we talking about here?
Yeah, so we're talking about, the county has been talking about water bills, and there's an element of it that's kind of same thing, just a different day. This is not a new struggle for the county, but currently over $104 million is owed to the county in some of these unpaid water bills, and so the county is trying to do their best to collect this revenue that they say is owed to them. And so some of those measures have been like implementing a recorded customer service line and having recorded like resolution consultations on Zoom. So if you've disputed your bill, then that would be the conversation on the resolution of that dispute. And amongst some other things that will be taking effect June 1st, it is summer. And so, but yeah, so that's kind of what's happening with DeKalb County at the moment. I will say the county commission was talking about water billing again this morning. And so I tuned in at just the right moment to say that the CEO would be making sure that some of these affordability measures are being implemented and these requirements are being met. So when the water and sewer rates were increased, the county commission also passed an affordability measure resolution, and so some of those things was creating an independent customer service or customer advocate office, implementing shutoff protections if your bill is in dispute, and also some discount programs and like a 7-year payment plan option. And so far we're hearing from some officials and also advocates that those things are not being implemented right now. So those discussions were ongoing this morning, and so be sure to check back with Decatorish and our partners at Atlanta News First, as we're both following that topic very closely.
And have you had a chance to kind of gauge the community reaction after that news conference with the CEO?
Yeah, I think some reactions have been kind of mixed. I think there are some thoughts that, like, of course you should be paying your water bill, but we also at Decatorish, we have talked to some residents who are facing some pretty heavy circumstances, whether it's health issues or just financial issues, and so they're not, their water bills are $18,000 or more in some cases, so it's a pretty hefty bill to be able to just kind of cough up. So I think people seem pretty sympathetic to circumstances like that, and kind of understanding that we need to get these people, the help that they deserve, and to not shut their water off just because they have these high bills that they cannot pay.
Well said, and we know you and the Decatorish team will stay on top of this. Take me out to Avondale Estates for a moment, because I have some questions about this story. The Avondale City Commission banning electronic devices, specifically phones, during meetings, and it had a 4-1 vote. So why did it get to a point where they had to take some time and ban people from being on their phones at work?
Honestly, that's a great question, and I don't know that I fully know, but our reporter Jim Bass covers Avondale Estates, and he's been following this closely as well. But there's been some concerns amongst the commissioners, and I believe the mayor was the one who brought this forward, of just some of them get a lot of messages during meetings, and so in an effort to try to kind of quell some of that, they have banned themselves from using phones, laptops, tablets during meetings. So this does not apply to like the city staff or the public. So I guess the message really is just don't text your commissioners while they're at a meeting. But I will say the intrusive thought for me has been, I really want to text the mayor during their next meeting.
Really test the new rule. Because you think just turn off your phone, put it on silent, put it in your bag or back pocket, but it's come to this apparently.
Yeah, I get it. I get lots of messages too, and I'm one of those people that I will respond to you as soon as I see your message. So I know it's hard to to not respond sometimes, but Avondale States is working through it. I will also say that new policy comes with a punishment of censure up to like $1,000 fine. So they're kind of really trying to crack down on this.
Yeah, they're not joking around.
Definitely not. So
Well,
as much as I want to text them, maybe I shouldn't.
try to see if that rule is holding well or not.
Yeah, we'll find
hey,
out.
If you want a litter of pups in DeKalb County anytime soon, you're going to want to be prepared to notify the county. So a new ordinance was passed to create an animal litter registry in hopes to address overpopulation. And what does this exactly entail?
Yeah, so the county is just trying to address some kind of like unregulated breeding, so of cats, dogs, and domestic rabbits. And so one way that they are trying to do this is with, like you said, this new animal litter registry. And so if you own like a female dog, cat, or rabbit, you would not be able to have more than one litter within any like 12-month period. And then if there is a new litter, you would have to notify the county within 21 days of birth. And then there will be a public registry of, the owner's name, the vet, what kind of animal it is, and just some information kind of about the litter as well. So they're really just trying to kind of crack down on, just some of this, what they have called kind of backyard breeding, but just trying to help with seeing fewer and fewer animals going into the animal shelter.
Any reaction from pet owners? Any concerns of whether this is like a privacy issue or otherwise?
I think there's been some concerns about privacy. I haven't heard a whole lot about that part. I will say some of the animal advocates that I've talked to briefly were excited about this registry. So I think they would like to see even more regulations on litters and breeding, but they think this is a good first step. And I will also say if you are like a licensed pet dealer or an animal shelter, then this ordinance would not apply to you.
And Zoe, we actually wanted to bring this topic not only to give you an update on what's been happening surrounding the litter registry, but also to put a cute furry friend in front of you. And Zoe, this is Derek. Tell me all about him.
Yes, so I was covering the State of DeKalb Animals Address the other day, and of course it wouldn't be an animal event without animals in attendance. And so a Lifeline volunteer was fostering Derek for the weekend, and so she brought him to the event, and I got to meet him and pet him, and let me tell you, he is just the sweetest boy.
The goodest boy?
Yes, he's just the goodest boy. He was so sweet. He knows sit very well. He loved all the pets and even was kind of really leaning into it. And how can someone pass up that cute little face?
So if you're watching this, text Zoe immediately during the show for more information about how to adopt Derek.
For sure, yes. He is available at Lifeline. I also just wanted to mention that while we have Derek as one of the pets that's available, Lifeline has like over 550 dogs, all of them looking for a forever home. So if you are looking to expand your family and add a four-legged friend, we really encourage you to check out Lifeline. And also, if you do adopt Derek, please let me come pet him.
Yeah, you're an honorary aunt at this point to
yes,
Derek.
Pretty much.
Well, at Decatur Dish, we do this every week, and we try to bring community voices and people that are doing good in DeKalb County and growing DeKalb. And today I want to talk a little bit about Decatur. That Decatur quickly growing into what I would call Atlanta soccer town, at least striving in that direction. And Decatur is just days away from welcoming semi-pro women's soccer team Decatur FC into their second season. And this team is calling on the community to set new attendance records. Zoe, you're a soccer athlete yourself. Talk to me about this.
I mean, I try. But yeah, I'm super excited for Decatur FC in their second season. And so they had quite a successful first season last year. And we've got Gareth O'Sullivan as a local business owner in Decatur. He owns O'Sullivan's Pub on the square. And so he is the owner of the team. And he's working alongside Joel Gould, who is the new general manager, and Campbell Chapman, who's the head coach. And so they are all just really looking forward to having another successful season. And I believe last year they set, at like their first game, they set a new attendance record for the whole league that they're playing in. And then they broke their own record later in the season with, I think, over 1,800 fans. And so we're expecting those numbers to keep rising. And so just really encourage everybody to get out and support this local team.
And as we talk about this local team, we want to welcome Decatur FC General Manager Joel Gould to talk about the upcoming season right after this short break.
A local news team alerts you first before every storm, protects you with every investigation, and looks for all sides to every story. Atlanta's only locally owned news team is Atlanta News First.
We might be new, but we were built here. That means more breaking news that matters, more first alert weather helping you plan, and more honest reporting so you can make up your own mind.
The news you watch should be clear about their agenda.
At Atlanta News First, our agenda is you.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Decatur Dish. We are joined today by Joel Gould, who is the general manager of Decatur FC. Joel, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, Zoe. Thank you so much for having me. I feel like we've gotten to know each other a little bit over the past 6 months, and super excited to be here, so thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So we've got an exciting week this week. So Decatur FC has their first game on Friday at 7 at Decatur High. So Joel, will you tell us a little bit about Decatur FC?
Yeah, absolutely. So Decatur FC is a women's semi-pro soccer team. We launched last year to a great success in the city of Decatur. We were, I think initially we were expecting maybe 50 to 100 fans to attend our games. And, our first game we set the all-time attendance record for the WPSL at 1,800. And our second game we beat it with 2,100 fans. So we were, super shocked at kind of how everybody rallied around the team. And so, we're a semi-pro team, so we're really made up of Division I NCAA players who come home for the summer, and they look for a summer league to play in. And so, it's great for them. They get to stay fit, get some touches on the ball, and kind of maintain that level before they go back to school and start their season in early August. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can attest that the game days are super fun, and I can't wait for this season to start. And so, Joel, I know we've talked a little bit, and you just mentioned about the attendance records from last year, but I want to know, what do you think kind of drove a lot of that community support in that first year?
So I think Decatur, as a city, has it's kind of Soccer City USA. There's a huge passion for soccer all over the city. You can kind of see that on an Atlanta United game day. If you just go to any of the MARTA stations, they're just packed with people going to see soccer. And so I think we were all pleasantly surprised to see that same soccer passion translated into women's semi-pro team. The community rallied around us. The city, from Mayor Patty Garrett and her husband, probably the two biggest soccer fans in the city of Atlanta, are big supporters of us. The school system really got involved and supported us. The business community, all of the local soccer clubs. We're kind of right in the middle of Inner Atlanta and TISA and GSA and Decatur DeKalb YMCA, and everybody just kind of rallied around the team, and we just had so much great support.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know for us at Decaturish, we are Decatur FC's official media partner this year, which is super exciting.
Yeah.
So we're can't wait to bring you all the Decatur FC news throughout this summer and during the season. And I will say too, I've learned anything this year, that is Decatur is a soccer city. And I know Dan Wisenhunt, our editor, has run into the mayor of Decatur coming back from Atlanta United games on MARTA. So I suspect that she will be at a lot of the games as well. But I guess, what are you guys hoping just in terms of kind of attendance for this year? Do you think you guys will be on track to, break your attendance records again?
Yeah, thank you. So that's certainly the goal, right? We have pretty lofty goals for what we want to accomplish this season, kind of off the pitch and on the pitch, right? And so from off the pitch perspective, we are doing a lot of things to help generate a bigger fan base. This year, for all of our games, all youth will get into our games for free, essentially every game, which we're super excited about from an accessibility standpoint. We want to make sure that we can get as many fans there who maybe aren't playing soccer or are new to soccer, to get them to see our games and see what a great time and how exciting it can be. Our tickets are still, from a relative perspective, pretty inexpensive, for a family to come out and watch our game. And so, yes, we're definitely trying to increase attendance, and I think we're going to get there. I think we're going to set some more records this season as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So we encourage everybody to get out to those games this season. And Joel, I also want to talk about FIFA a little bit. So we've got the Club World Cup this summer. We've got the Men's World Cup coming next summer. How are y'all feeling about that?
Yeah, so for us, we see these are great things, right? Especially for the city of Atlanta, but certainly for Decatur FC. The FIFA World Cup this summer actually brings a small pause in the MLS schedule. And so one of the unique things we saw this season is that the Atlanta United supporter groups all reached out to us early on to say, hey, look, we love soccer so much, like during that downtime, we're going to turn all of our attention to you guys. And so, that, obviously is exciting for us, and they bring so much passion to the game. And so their involvement because of FIFA Club World Cup. And then I think, with the growth we're hoping to experience this year, we're hoping to continue to ride that wave into 2026 with all of the excitement generating from FIFA World Cup next summer in Atlanta and, of course, the United States and North America. So.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 summers really full of soccer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it should be super exciting.
Yeah. And, of course, the city of Decatur, the city of Decatur is planning a big watch fest in 2026 with 40 days of viewing and activities down in the square, from music and games and activities. And, if you've ever been to downtown Decatur, there's so many great restaurants and pubs that'll be showing games, and there'll be big screens. And so, I think, we're going to try to be as much of a part of that include that in our game day activities as well. So.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've really appreciated with you all as well is, besides the community support, you all have really jumped in and supported the community as well. So that's been really cool to see, and you guys all at festivals and all that good stuff too.
Yeah, we try to use I think after the first season, when we all kind of took a breath and we realized what kind of gift we actually have and what the community has given us, we really tried to sit back and say, how can we use this gift to build up everybody who can be a part of it, right? So from a player perspective, how do we build up the players and give them back in as good a fitness or better? How do we work with all the local businesses who've been so great to us? How do we build up their business in the process? The city, of course. I could never thank the city enough for everything they've done for us, and all the city volunteers that come to our games and help work our games, and of course the school system, David Harbin, and Rodney Thomas. Everything they do for our team is incredible. And so, our goal is to really to not just take from our community, but to possibly give back as much as we possibly can. So.
Yeah, for sure. And so we are excited, I think for us to give back as much as we can here at Decatur-ish and just give everybody that coverage during the season. And so I want to thank Joel for joining us here today. And so this is the Decatur Dish. We want to thank everybody for watching us. We air every week, and going forward we'll be at a new time. So we'll be Wednesdays at 12:30 on ANF+. We appreciate our media partners at Atlanta News First for working on this with us as well. If you want to check out Decatur FC this season, all of their ticket information and schedule, any information you will need is decaturfc.com. And if you need to check out Decatur-ish as well, we can be found at decaturish.com, and as well as our media partners at atlantanewsfirst.com. So we've got lots of good information to help keep everybody informed. And so with that, I hope everybody has a great day.